Hey, make sure you subscribe for more hacks in the future. Tonight, I want to tell you about these very random feeling things and what they all have in common. We're going to talk about Canada. We're going to talk about deaf plus. And when I say deaf plus, this means deaf plus something else. Deaf plus blind, deaf plus autism, deaf plus something else, deaf in addition to. We're going to talk about these students. In-servicing videos, a special school in Cozumel, and an AI bot. What do these things all have in common? And it feels very random, but I'm kicking this off in January of 2026 because all of these things are all online initiatives for 2026. 40% of students who are deaf will now have an additional disability. I feel like this has changed. This has changed since I started my career. And I will be the first to say that I was not necessarily trained in working with students who were deaf with additional disabilities. Now, I have been very blessed that I've been able to get some training and I have worked alongside some really incredible people. And I feel much, much, much more equipped than I did. However, many people don't have the resources. Many people don't have the people to walk alongside of them, or just feel as we are isolated, as we are kind of walking around as islands doing what we're doing, we don't really have the support, the people to pour into us to make sure that we are meeting the needs of these students the best way that we can. This year, from here on out, and for the rest of the school year, the bonus trainings that you have got access to, we are honing in on these students. So on Thursday, I'm really excited about our Thursday's training. We're having our two-part training. This is a master class, working with deaf students with autism. As members of the Academy, you can access this afterwards. So if you cannot watch us live, then you will be able to watch the recording. So one of the focuses of this on Thursday is the question, which is first? Which is primary? Which is the bigger thing that's going on? The deaf or the autism? So we're going to learn how to kind of pick that apart. We're going to learn some strategies to be able to support you in the classroom. This is also a fantastic training for your parents of kids who are deaf with autism. So as a reminder, if you have a student on your caseload who is deaf with autism, the parents automatically get a free membership to the Friend Academy, which means that they can access this training as well. So go ahead and save the date. It's the first Thursday of each month of January and February. And we've got our trainings in March and April. And this is with Ashley Norkis, who is now going by Arden Norkis. So don't get confused if you're hearing different names. It is the same person. Ashley has Usher syndrome, and she is deaf and now blind. So she is going to be really honing in on our students who are deaf, deafblind, deaf plus. I'm really excited about this because this is one of the top needs that we are having in our field right now. And the trainings out there, they're just really limited. Let's talk about in-servicing our teachers, family members, and other people who are working with our students, whether they are our deaf students or our students who are deaf with additional disabilities. In-servicing does not happen at the beginning of the year and then you are over. If you are frustrated because it just did not stick, if you did an in-service, if you talked about it, if you did the 1 hour or the 30 minutes, and now you're just like, I don't understand why these people are still not getting it. It's because in-servicing once a year is not effective. We need to in-service ongoing all year long. It just means revisiting bite-size pieces, just a little bit at a time. And that is how our teachers can build that capacity, can wrap their brains around the needs of their students. But I also know that it is very challenging for you to constantly be in-servicing all the people, all the teachers on your students' caseload, especially when there's more than one teacher, which is all the time, right? All the time. Well, I am really excited because the Online Itinerant has partnered with Triumph, and they have created some awesome videos that we now get to have access to. And I am just going to share them with you and show you what we have inside your library. That is a short video that can be sent to your teachers beginning of the year, middle of the year. Now that it's a new semester, you've got a brand new opportunity to revisit this or new teachers to show this to. So we've got two of them. We've got one for our just our DHH students. And then we've got another one for supporting our deafblind student. There is so much meat inside these 10 minutes. There's auditory fatigue. There is the differences between cochlear implants and hearing aids, talking about social needs, talking about accessibility and accommodations, really just all kind of tied up in a nutshell. This is a great in-service training for you to be able to send out to your teachers, and you have this available to you inside of your library. In addition, we also have the deaf-blind in-service. This one is a little bit this one is 11 minutes long, so it's a little bit longer, but it's the same kind of approach. It's talking about the unique needs of students who are deaf with vision impairments as well. So really, really a fabulous way for you to be able to support some teachers and give them a foundation so that when you are following up afterwards, then they have had a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit of a taste of in-servicing that you can then build upon for the rest of the school year. Next thing I want to tell you about is Ari. I can't wait to introduce you to Ari because Ari is our brand new AI bot for the online itinerants. So, what is Ari? Ari is going to be our little bubble that's going to be inside the website that you can say, I have got a student who has a unilateral hearing loss, who is showing these behaviors and has these needs. What do you recommend I do? And Ari should be able to point you to the right trainings and activities with inside the online itinerant, inside the toolbox that will help support you and guide you directly to your needs. This is something interesting about any AI, anything. It needs to be trained and it needs to be able to know where to find resources. So Ari is actually being trained. I've had a number of people kind of help me teach Ari by how do you train Ari? You ask him questions. You ask him questions and you have conversations, and then that I look at Ari and I say, "Hey Ari, are you going rogue here or are you giving people good information?" And then I work very closely with Ari to make sure that Ari is knowledgeable and able to support you. He will be hopefully fully launched in the spring, and then he will be fully available to you. But for now, he is kind of he's in training, and you may see him come upon our website. So the online itinerant has now grown. I have a Canadian branch. That means I have a Canadian address. I've got a Canadian phone number. I've got a Canadian business. That means I'm spending more time in Canada. So for those of you who are in Canada, just know that I'm going to be around. And this means that there is less need for, foreign transactions or anything like that. But this is what's very interesting. The needs of our students in Canada are very similar to the needs of our students in the United States. The sign language is the same. The challenges that you face with heavy caseloads, with everything that you've got, is the same as over there. And so we really can come together. We can come together and we can support each other. We don't need to be separate. We can be united. And this is kind of a great opportunity to be able to get additional resources and learn additional things because over in Canada, they've got some other wonderful resources that we don't have, and we've got some that they don't have. So you might be seeing some new things that have been shared from our Canadian branch. So I'm very excited about that. These are our cruise conference piloters, the people who helped test this concept of being able to have a conference on a cruise ship. But what we did is we sailed to Cozumel, where we got to spend some time at this special school called CAM School. CAM School is a school for children who have unique needs in Mexico because, at least in Cozumel, the area that we were, there's kind of two choices. You've got your general education school, and then you've got your special school. And there might be kids who are not in either location. They may be out at home. They may be in the community, but we got to spend some time at the school. And about 1 year from now, the Online Itinerant is going to be hosting another conference cruise, deaf education conference and networking cruise, where we will be going back to Cozumel. And in fact, I am going back to Cozumel in February. So I will be heading there to visit some of the staff that we met and just kind of get a radar read on what is going on in the school and how things are going and how things are going with our students. You'll be hearing more about our next one that's coming up. So again, we're just over 1 year out for this. It is called the 2027 Deaf Education Conference and Networking Cruise. We've got some really incredible special guests. Anybody know this guy? Nailed it. It's Keith Wan. He is a comedian. He is what we call a CODA, a child of a deaf adult. And he's a really amazing guy. He's going to be on the boat with us, hanging out with us. We are also going to have, anybody recognize this amazing person? Yeah, this is Tina Childress. I love that you guys know Tina. So Tina is a friend of mine, and she's also going to be on the boat. Now, what's going to be amazing about this trip is that we're going to be having presentations, but beyond presentations, we just get to be able to hang out and visit with people. So if you can imagine just sitting by the pool and having a drink or eating nachos or going to dinner with Tina or with Keith and being able to sit with the people who are experts in our field, who are pioneers, who have personal knowledge and experience about what's happening within our profession. This is your opportunity to do that. And I am about to announce who our keynote presenter is going to be. I know you can't quite see her, but you might be able to figure it out. If you are a good detective. We've got another person, at least one other person, who's going to be on the boat with us, who is going to rock your worlds. And as soon as she gets revealed, then the tickets will be open for anybody to purchase. Right now, they're only open for you as Professional Academy members. And you have a special rate. So once she gets revealed, when we're still a year out, it will still be an early bird rate. But right now, it is the early bird rate because you don't even know who is coming. So this is the lowest price available. And I want you to know that you put a deposit down, which is fully refundable until October of 2026. So if you're like, yeah, I think that this might work, but I can't be completely sure, that's okay. You can still save your seat. All right, so when you go to the website, if you click on Cruise 2027, here are our VIP guests that you'll be hanging out with, along with the amazing other people in our profession. There is kind of a little sneak peek at what the agenda will be. These are the dates, January 14 through 18, 2027. Okay, so again, we're just over 1 year away from this, but we've got a tentative schedule. I've got frequently asked questions. Here's what this looks like. I know people are saying, okay, this is going to be ridiculously expensive. It's actually not, because the conference is $525 for the conference. That's for the conference, okay? You still have to pay for your room. But your room, if you're a member of the Professional Academy, then your room can be saved for as low as $205. Your whole room can be as low as $500 for 5 days of your, now that is your room, that is your food, that is your entertainment, that is everything. And this is the balcony room. Okay, this is the balcony room. That's the nicest room. If for people who are want to be real budgeteers, okay, you ready? $224 for your cruise. $224 for the entire cruise. And then the conference is $525. So talk to your school. Many schools would pay for a conference, but they might not pay for a cruise. But if that's the case, then your cruise price is only $224. If a school would pay for your hotel at a conference, well, this is much less expensive than a hotel or food or anything would be. And again, we do have payment plans available, so you can save your spot for as low as $145. This is the early bird price. It is going up once I reveal who our keynote speaker is. We do have a couple testimonials on here, and I just added Kira's. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what Kira had to say about our conference.
When I flew back to Charlotte and I was walking out of the airport, and my husband called me from the cell phone lot to say, what pillar are you standing at? I was like vibrating. I couldn't wait to tell him all the amazing things that happened. I feel like I have new inspiration because of it. In like with connections with people and what we did there and just all of it. It was just amazing. We all got to do our own thing and be ourselves, but still do conferencey things. And I think for me, that was huge. Just we're able to relax and actually be present in the conference instead of, looking at your agenda and, oh, I really don't care about this. When is this over? This person's droning on and on. There was none of that. I think that having that stress level gone, that anxiety gone, and just knowing we're all just here to hang out and talk about what we do with deaf kids while, we can go ice skating, or let's go get an ice cream and talk while the waves are going by, or whatever. That was huge. The big thing was going to the CAM school. I didn't know what to expect. I was super excited that we were actually able to go someplace in Cozumel that was meaningful to all of us. I didn't really think we were going to be able to do that. So that whole day, getting to see those children, which we experience here in our daily comings and goings, but seeing them there in an environment that we aren't fully privy to, but then also seeing the staff that work with them, it was very eye-opening to see just how much we have, and we just kind of take it for granted because that's what we have here. That was a whole new perspective there. And my brain was going, okay, so if I was able to be here, what would I do? And it was just awesome. Being able to connect with those kids too. I thought it was going to be, who are these, white ladies coming in from America who don't speak Spanish? I don't know our sign language, but it was seamless. That was incredible. And to see everyone that went with us get in that moment, like taking a step back and seeing everyone getting their own piece of that day was so cool to see that happen. So that by far was like the number one best thing, was the day we spent there. A second thing would be how easy it was to get along with everyone. I know for me, then we experienced this the first night at dinner. We got to go to the fancy dinner. I mean, come on, who gets to do that? We were on a cruise and got to do all the cruisy things, but it was so easy to balance, our business that we wanted to do, but also the camaraderie amongst us all. Like, hey, there's that ice show tonight. You want to go? Great. And we might be chatting about our stuff, but it wasn't something that you had to force that conversation. So yeah. If you want to be inspired, if you need a little oomph to get you back to accept your teacher self again, maybe, you've got a little worn out for the same old, this would be an incredible opportunity, because that's exactly what happened to me. It was just the rejuvenation my teacher heart needed and my brain needed, and it hasn't stopped.
Who's ready to sign up with me? Gabriella is here, and she is our liaison between here and Cozumel. So I just couldn't be more thrilled to have Gabriella's partnership with us. And the theme of this conference is working with families and students who aren't from here, who maybe are from anywhere, but they're coming into a new culture. They're coming into a new school system. They're coming into a new language. And here we are needing to work with them. And maybe they're in seventh grade. Maybe they're in high school. Maybe they haven't had any education up to now. And all of a sudden, we need to figure out how to connect those dots with family members who are going through a lot of changes as well. What does that look like for us? We're going to be walking through that. We're going to be walking through it together and in a place that is going to feel like we can connect with each other because hopefully, I believe so strongly we are stronger together. And when we can pour into each other and walk alongside each other, learn from others' experiences, but do it in a place where we can feel safe and where we can have fun, then that is life-changing. Okay, so what do these five things have in common? Well, what they have in common is that you are going to get to build your knowledge, your expertise, and how the skills that you have in working with these students. So these students are all the students that you have, are deaf students, but our deaf students who are deaf with additional disabilities, our deaf students who are from other language speaking families. This is my focus for the year 2026 and the year 2027. And I just couldn't be more excited to walk alongside of all of you. And we're going to build these skills together. With that, everybody, I hope you are as excited about 2026 as I am. It's going to be a fabulous year. I hope you had a great break. And I also hope that you know that I see you. I see you and I see how hard you are working. And I appreciate you because I know that there is a shortage out there. There are not enough people who are doing what you're doing. There are not enough people who know what you know. And I recognize how much you are pouring into these students. I want you to be able to be pampered. I want you to be appreciated. I want you to be able to feel as special as you are. And so that's why we're doing this on a cruise ship, that you can get the conference needs that we love, but just also get poured into in a way that you deserve. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. And just know that this year's going to be great.
Visit our website to learn more about becoming a professional Academy member. And catch us next week with a new hack for you.